Hello and welcome everybody, I'm Barbarian and this is Crusader Kings 2 and we return here as Tibet and we return as Tsenpo Kunturi, I think, the youthful of Tibet. A bit of an odd name, but honestly maybe he just stays young in mind, you know, maybe, I don't know, he goes on walks, is that something young people do? As a pensioner myself, of course, I wouldn't know that, but what I will tell you is that I may have exchanged the council with a bunch of yes-men, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to push through the viceroyalty here for the kingdoms, because by doing this, I will be able to hand them out, you know, in a sense of like sort of governors, I guess. We're gonna have governors for the regions, and they're gonna say, okay, governor, and it's gonna be a grand time, honestly. I think it's going to be very exciting, because this will mean a lot of stability here inside of Tibet itself. Now, let me just see. And there are 3 supporters. I need one more. There you go. Beautiful. Thank you. Viceroyalties, let's push it through, and we've done it. And with that, of course, I will immediately start handing out some titles here. Now, you're all Tangut, and I guess that's okay. That's the local governors, right? At the end of the day, I don't need them to be Bödpa as well. Bödpa is limited to just down here, but Tangut is also perfectly fine. They can self-govern. Tutpe Waming Fulio, you hate me because I took this title from you, so you know what? I probably don't want to give it to you. Oh, you're married to my family. Look at this. Now, this is a good candidate, I feel. Tupo Yeli Chiazen II. I will grant you Amdo. There you go. Have a good time with it, honestly. I think that is nice. Now, over here, Margiul, these fellas are quite angry because I just subjugated them. Which one was the old king? Wait, none of you are the old kings of Guge? I swear to God, there was one that we kind of stole that title from. And now I can't find them again. Oh, they're just dead, huh? Well, okay, look at you. You're the regional lord and you're not underneath us, so I'm going to give it to your family, the Pogyal family, which, by the way, were reigning over Tibet in 800 and something. And, you know, essentially were the holders of the Tibetan Empire. They shall gain these titles yet again. Guge will be under your supervision. You can do it. I believe in you. And then the last title that I will hand out will be Calm. And there you go, our son is growing up. He could be martial, he could be learning. You know what, the thing is, we're already playing a very, very excellent learning character. I know that learning is our focus here, but I will reorientate you, I think. I'm gonna educate you in martial. Nah, you know what, let's just do learning. If he's good in learning, I mean, you know, what else is there to say? He can be a good theologian, much like we are, of course. Tsenpo Kunturi would bring up his children, I think, with that in mind. And oh my god, it's only 11:18, but Cursed Europe is going to become so damn cursed. And on top of that, oh, it gets even worse. On top of that, they're going to turn Orthodox. Alright, let me explain this. Sunset invasion. Thousands of exotic ships have arrived on in the coast of Morocco, spewing out numberless hordes of ululating warriors in weird armor sporting feathers and bone. These invaders from beyond the sunset worship hellish demon gods, sacrificing the populations of entire towns on altars erected on top of pyramid-shaped wooden edifices. They cut their victims' hearts out, carefully flay them, and let their devil priests wear the skins for many days. The Ahad have mercy. So, we have someone that is a demon child and went over to America. That is something that can happen. You see it all too often. Honestly, more often than I'm comfortable with. I feel like if you have Sunset Invasion enabled, the way it should work is that essentially if you know, get a Sunset Invasion, there's like a 10% chance for a devil child to do this. Because the result is, we have someone that came from Europe, went over there, and now comes back as the Empress. And this Empress has children that aren't Nahua, that aren't Aztec, and that will take over the empire and just make it into a normal empire. I guess in this case, it's not that bad, because it's going to be an Orthodox empire, just strengthening the region. What are they attacking in the Maghreb? So we're going to see a huge Orthodox blob over here, but welcome, Huadlatuani Iuliana, who is a known demon worshipper. She has demonic horns as well, and just look at the eyes. We'll see how that goes, eh? And we have dysentery. That is, of course, also not ideal, but let's just... Oh! We have dysentery and we might live forever. Now, I gotta tell you, living forever is a bit weird in CK2, but being a Buddhist that guides his people to Nirvana, that guides his people to salvation, and you are eternal, that is amazing. I definitely want to do that. Matters of life and death. With age comes wisdom, they say. Or at least it may change the questions we ask, you mutter to yourself. You have had trouble sleeping lately. More often than not, while the rest of your court is sound asleep, you find yourself staring at the ceiling. You are getting older, each day closer to leaving this plane of existence. It is folly to fear such things, of course, yet you cannot keep the feelings at bay. Didn't you used to dream of grander things? What about you carving your own path? What happened to your ambitions? I mean, we did found Tibet, but okay. You sit up straight in your bed. This is ridiculous. You are the ruler. You have people ready to serve you at any whim. Perhaps a councillors have ideas. If nothing else, it might ease your trouble sleeping. You know what? Let me just make sure. You are a 19. That is excellent. Jungpa Mutik, I trust that you can find someone that is worth our while. Meetings of the minds. Your council convenes and the faces of your advisors speak of confusion. Why are we here, my lord? It comes with a hint of concern. You sit down and the suspense is almost tangible as you leave the question hanging in the air. Finally you speak, and without disclosing much of your current nightly restlessness, you convey the message eloquently enough. I want to discuss the concept of life and death, and I want to look into everlasting life. There you go, let's do this. Jungpa Mutik, I swear to God, if he makes me immortal, I will grant him, and I'm going to mark him so that I don't forget about it, I will grant him a kingdom that I will conquer, of course, you know, before I will grant it, but I will grant him a kingdom and maybe even give him independence, you know, maybe Khotan, for example. Sunset Invasion, another huge fleet of the bloodthirsty Aztecs has been sighted on the western coast of Iceland. So we're going to see an empire spanning from down here to up there. Let's just see how it turns out. Honestly, this is odd. We're going to have a huge Orthodox empire that isn't the Byzantine Empire. And by the way, I'm no longer sick. Very nice. Holy sigh. When you check up on Jungpa Mutik to inquire about the search, you find him slumped over his books, sound asleep. You clear your throat loudly and he sits up straight, drowsy eyes starting panically around the room before suppressing a yawn. Sorry, master, I must have dozed off. Truth be told, I'm starting to give up. To make it through all these scriptures, I think I need an assistant. Or 10. He rolls his eyes, then looks down abashedly. I'm sorry, my lord, I'll make do, of course. Nonsense, you rest, I'll hire some scribes. Absolutely. We have the money to do this, and I want to be immortal. Man, this is one of the very few times where I legitimately look at it and say to myself, the philosophy of the religion that we have, because there are, you know, even today supposed masters that are immortal, which, I mean, you know, you gotta believe that, I suppose. You can't just, you know, take it at face value. But the thing about it is that I'm quite interested in that, because we could be one of them. We could be part of that entire ordeal, and it would be beautiful. Now, I'm just gonna continue to raid and hope that we find a good master. Mystic appears. Your court Bhikkhu Mutik hesitantly leads you to his chamber. This is highly unorthodox, my master. But I assure you, all our research points to the lady you are about to meet. She has traveled a long way from the distant lands in the east to come and see you. A quite remarkable lady, if I say so myself. You ask Jungpa Mutik about his mysterious woman and her teachings, but he avoids her questions and insists that it will be better if you ask her yourself. I'm going to treat this in a way that this woman was found by my wonderful uncle, that of course is no longer around, but that this was essentially a woman that, you know, he sent out the scribes, he found out all the knowledge that was to be found in the world, both, you know, in India, in the west, and then in the east. And from the east, Kunshok, maybe dead at this point, I'm not quite sure, probably dead at this, no, definitely dead at this point, but with the teachings that he started, because I really like those comments where essentially, hey, we should just say that he still founded the Sakya Trizin school of Buddhism, but in China. And with those teachings in mind, I think that is what brings that woman here. Let us hear this woman out, and let's just take a look at the stats of that woman. Please don't be a fraud. She is 9 years old, she has a very high base stat, she might be real mystic, and she is Buddhist and Sinhala, Indo-Aryan. I don't actually know. Where is Sinhala? I don't know where that would be marked down as, but let's try it. I'm gonna go through this, let's make it happen. When you heard about the alleged mystic, you pictured someone very youthful. However, you did not picture a child. The little girl who calls herself Ramajata is unlike any child you've ever met. Her manners are incredibly mature, and she seems to be far more knowledgeable than your most educated advisors. She tells you tales of faraway lands and distant times, heavy with symbolism and hidden meanings. While it is very strange to hear such wise words spoken by a mere child, the vividness of her stories makes you wonder if she experienced them all herself. She promises to tell you more if you accept her as a teacher. You know what? I am intrigued. Let's make this happen. All of Iceland is now a colony of the Aztec Empire, but also Norway apparently, and the Maghreb. This is something else. All of those, by the way, are going to turn Aztec, just for the record. The Vikings who sailed to Vinland met natives who warned them of a powerful empire to the south, but those warnings went unheeded. Aztec nobles out of favor with the emperor may henceforth be appointed governors of this cold and barren island. A fallen man. Ramajata and you are walking side by side through the capital as she is patiently explaining the principles of reincarnation and immortality. Terry, my friend, remember that karma is not only produced when you act. Everything you think, say, and cause is also karma. While good deeds yield you sweet fruits, punja, unkindness, brings forth spoiled fruits, pap. Your walk has brought you to a rundown alley where a man in tattered clothes sleeps in a doorway. As you approach, the stench of alcohol and vomit becomes unbearable. Ramajata tells you that the man was cheated of all of his savings and how he fell into despair when the local authorities refused to help him. The tale fills you with compassion for the poor fellow. See, the thing is, we are cruel, and I know that this negatively impacts the entire thing, although I think that just also positively impacts it. I'm going to actually give him the money, because those local authority, of course, you know, were my responsibility in a grand way, I think, so I will give him the money he lost. Please. The sweetest fruit. Ramajata nods contentedly as you kneel next to the man and offer him your coin purse. The fruit of good thoughts and good deeds is sweet indeed, my friend. Acts of kindness brings peace to your heart and brings you one step closer to the enlightenment. You are a just ruler indeed. During the walk home, your heart does feel lighter. You intently listen to Ramajata's thoughtful musings, trying to remember every word. She might be the true saint you have been waiting for. Oh man, I wish this would make me kind or something. I'll treat everyone fairly from now on. I have been fair all my life, but let's really hope that this works out. If it does, Jungpa Mutik, you will be the happiest man in the world, let me tell you. Look at this, by the way. So many people are Buddhist at this point. He's the only Burn ruler. And if I could push through this law, then I would most certainly revoke all of it. But we'll see about it. We'll get this done when the time is right, I think. What is going on over here? Holy, look at that. Kön Byamspai Gyalmatsan has grown up to be a masterful theologian, much like us. It was a good choice to give him this, and he's also Brody. Man, this is a very good character. You know, just very balanced, but also highly intelligent. He's zealous, chaste, and greedy, and I shall immediately marry you off to someone that is roughly your age, and, of course, a Buddhist of our school, because everything else would be a disgrace, seeing as we are the leaders and the saviors of our school. I want a Vajrayana one. That would be ideal, but I can't find anyone that is Vajrayana and also maybe of a noble house. You know, of course they are merely viceroys. Oh, what would actually, you know what, I was just thinking of this. I think marrying a Poryal would be a really, really good choice, because essentially the Poryal dynasty, right, is in a position where they are highly related, not to say, you know, practically maybe the ones that should be ruling the empire. There you go, look at that. All of these are out of the Poryal family, and yet we hold, of course, the empire. But if we marry into them, that would give us some legitimacy. Let me just see if we can find anyone. But I'm going to marry him off, don't worry, and we're going to find a solution for that. Alright, and here we go. The next event, Mind of a Body. Ramajata has been happy with your progress and informed you that the time had come for a period of deep introspection. You must venture in the wilderness all on your own, my friend, with nothing but the clothes on your back. Yeah, you are to stay there until you have a deep epiphany. You're not quite sure what an epiphany feels like, but Ramajata assured you that all will become clear in time. Now you've spent 4 days in isolation, fasting and meditating. Your mind does feel clearer, however, you're not sure if you're approaching your epiphany, or if the lack of sustenance is making you delirious. Well, Ramajata ordered you to abstain from food. She cannot see you now, and the hunger is becoming quite unbearable. I will not quit now, no matter the cost. You know what? I will not quit now. We are a theologian. We have studied the way that, you know, Siddhartha Gautama, for example, had to, you know, starve himself to actually come to a point where he realized what life is all about. I'm going to commit to it. I will not quit now, no matter the cost. Let's do this, please. The moment of clarity. Finally it arrives, the moment of perfect clarity. All of your senses are on edge, each expression as distinguished and detailed as if you experienced everything for the first time. It is as if your mind is expanding, reaching out, enveloping everything. You can feel that the realization is there, just beyond your limits. You just have to... And then it is as if something snaps within you. Some limitation which has always held you back is gone, and now everything makes sense. Each of Ramajata's lessons is rushing through her mind, each word as clear as if she was standing next to you. You sit there for a while, just taking everything in, paralyzed with amazement. I see it now. I must tell Ramajata. We have successfully completed her quest. We are now shrewd, and she likes us. Very, very nice. Come on, Senpo Turi, you can do it. I believe in you. And here we go. Ramajata was most pleased to hear about your epiphany in the wilderness. Since then, she has been preparing you for the last step of your journey towards enlightenment and immortality. To live forever, my dear friend, you must learn to separate the self from the body, she told you. Now Ramajata says that you are ready. It is time to pull all her lessons into practice. If you succeed, your body will become an immortal vassal and eternal life is yours. If you fail, you do not want to think about it. Ramajata has offered you a draught of herbs. This will make the bond looser and help you to let go, she told you, but be careful. If you lose the connection to your body entirely, who knows where your spirit will end up. Alright, so we could take the draught. I think I can do this on my own, or I don't think I'm ready for this. I will take the draught. I think I'm going to take the risk, so I know that this is the riskier option. Last time we had this event chain, we went with it, and we reincarnated in a new relative of ours. But maybe we can actually make this happen. If we die here, then so be it. He is a master of Buddhism. And if he doesn't take the risk here to make this happen, then who really is he, right? So, I'm ready. Give me the draught. Please tell me that this works. New beginning. Oh my god. You lay down on the bed and close your eyes. Slowly but surely all the impressions and thoughts melt away as you clear your mind. Even the sound of your own breath disappears into nothingness as you sink deeper and deeper. And then you rise. The body before you is yours, you know this. You've seen the reflection of that face 1,000 times, but never like this. It looks peaceful. Not even breathing, you realize. This fact does not upset you. Detachedly, you observe it for a while before you sink back into your body. The first breath is more vivid than anything you ever felt. Like a newborn baby, Ramajata says contentedly. Welcome, my friend, to your new life. Promise to make the most of this second chance, Ramajata. We are immortal. I haven't been immortal in an Iron Man game in like a good 400 hours of gameplay. I'm not even kidding you. I am so happy that this worked out just as we play in, you know, Tibet, just as we play with Buddhism. We are one of the immortals that live forever and that will always be remembered. Immortal blood of Tsenpo Kunturi. Monthly prestige towers, opinion and health. The divine blood of Turi flows through the veins of all of his descendants, carrying a glimpse of its eternal power. And you know, I was thinking about it. How do we name the temple? There were so many good suggestions. You know, our brother, for example, the actual Sakya Trizin school, that sort of stuff. But I think I'm going to name it Temple of Tsenpo Kun. And I actually believe this to be a Kunturi. There you go. I think this is the perfect name. The people of Tibet will not forget their immortal ruler, their immortal overlord. And we won't forget either. Would you look at that? Absolutely gorgeous. This is the dream. We are a god emperor. So I handed out the kingdom tier title of Kashmir because our dear friend that brought the mystic in that I wanted to give a title, he sadly passed away. You can see he's no longer over here, and that really sucks. I gave it to my son instead because he won't inherit the Empire of Tibet anytime soon, but he can rule in Kashmir as a viceroy. Now that is all working quite nicely. What I'm going to go ahead is I will just raid and pillage now so that we can get the Temple of Tsenpo Kunturi built up. We need 2,000 bucks to get to the next stage, so let's just make that happen. Let's gather the troops, let's pillage, and let's teach everybody involved a bit of a lesson here, eh? And there you go, it's time to build up the temple even further. Let's build it in our lifetime. Just a joke, seeing as we are immortal. What I really want to do now is I want to slowly make my way down south here, you know. At the end of the day, right now we are incredibly powerful, and I can't believe that I'm saying this, but let's actually take a look at Europe. I haven't looked at Europe in a while. You know what? You know what? Much more acceptable than anything that I thought would happen. We got some Nahua people over here. Okay, we got some Christians ruling over here, but led by a Nahua person. That's okay. And then we have the actual Aztec Empire down here, an Orthodox North African Empire. Now that is wild. Basileus Nikephoros, the brave of the Aztec Empire. My god. Honestly, the Holy Roman Empire is blobbing, but they're not blobbing to a degree where I would be worried about it. They look still quite fine. What's your vassal limit, my friend? 23 out of 28, despite the minus 28 game rule vassal limit. Okay, we got some nomad shenanigans there. Egypt is not blobbing out the way that I feared they would, but honestly the map is still looking, despite the Aztecs coming this early, despite Britannia existing, the map's looking quite alright at the moment. Let's just hope that that continues. Did you think it would take me a long time to take the holy sites down here? Well, there is still so much that we need to talk about. I think it's this holy site, right? Because essentially what we're going to do now is I gave a relative of this fella here a title, and that title, you know, shall go to him. Now, as you can see, he's a Vajrayana Buddhist, so that is excellent. He will bring the local Buddhist branch down there as well, and let's do this. Let's make this happen. I think we will easily crush them. I think we will easily destroy them. My question is, because I actually have never played, or rather, I haven't played Buddhism in ages. Can I use Buddhist holy orders against Eastern religions, or is it only against, for example, you know, Islam, that sort of stuff? I am not certain, but let's find out, honestly. Why wouldn't you, right? We're gonna recruit you, and we're gonna recruit some real units, and we're gonna make this happen. Let's push through, let's destroy them, let's take some land that is not connected to us, but hey, I'm immortal, it's not gonna fall out of my country anyway, so let's do this. Honestly, the thing that annoys me the most, by the way, is the fact that I have been trying to reject cruelty all this time. This entire time, I've tried to reject cruelty, and unless I reject it, I will not be able to level up in this society, meaning it's entirely worthless. It's a huge shame, in my opinion, because I would like to level up. I would like to become the leader of that society, because that, so to speak, would be, you know, essentially the center of our school of Buddhism, but turns out they just won't let me win. You know, cruelty appears to be a permanent part of our character here. We're not getting rid of it anytime soon. And look at that. All of these people now here involved in that war. That is a massive war that we have started. Of course, nobody really likes our influence down here, but I think we can handle them. I think we can handle them all. Let's do it. And I think we already here have the defining battle of this war. Just need to let them lock in, and then we can move in there as well. I think this will be a very, very decisive battle, just for the record. I don't think that this will be nearly as close as it feels, you know, when you look at it just from a basis level with 8k coming in. This should be fairly simple. I mean, we are, of course, the power in this region. The Chinese Empire never even really made their way, you know, west, meaning that we are the only factor in this entire area, and you can just see the reinforcements coming in, completely plowing through our opponents. And we're gonna immediately go on it. We got a dragon amulet, thank you so much. We are, of course, taking quite a bit of attrition here, meaning that I will command you to go down there. Easy. Very, very easy, I think. And there you go. The war's over. And with this war over... oh my god, that is nasty. But we are in control. We are in absolute control of this region. Let me just check here. So all of you are handed out? Yes, indeed. And now under his centralized rule, of course, they, you know, are part of this realm. This means that we are in control of an additional holy site, but everybody in that country is, well, Hindu, and that is, of course, a bit problematic, and I really do mean only a bit problematic. I'm not going to revoke this title. I would like to make it into, you know, at the end of the day, I would love to make it into a vice-royalty, but it is what it is. I think we all can deal with it, and by the way, it is indeed so that I can use holy orders against anyone that isn't Buddhist. It doesn't matter whether they are Eastern religion or not. And there you go, we have unified our territories up here, of course, in Tibet, and then down here in India, and our name is so large. My god, it is a gigantic name. But that is, of course, the only way to truthfully depict just how damn powerful we are. And all of those are Hindustani kings. I think he's not... Oh, no, he is Vajrayana. Good for you, Raja. Wait a minute. Do I mean you? No, I don't mean you, do I? Wait a minute. Shouldn't there be a king here somewhere? I forced vassalization, but he's just a duke. Oh, my god, he was just a duke. I thought he was a king. Well, that makes you considerably weaker, huh? If I can get a king for the kingdom tier title, I mean, for that region, then I will definitely do it. We're going to clean up this entire area. I think we're going to have a grand time, and I think it should be fairly easy. Let me just check here. Oh, baby. You don't even know what we're going to do yet. All of you will become Buddhist. All of you will become our branch, if possible. But we're definitely going to make that happen. I can't even describe just how quickly we are expanding just because we are working with claims here, with kingdom tier claims. You know, kind of further speeding up this playthrough. Now, I'm thinking, I realize we are incredibly powerful. I want to, in this playthrough, go and invade China. I want to do all of that stuff, and I think we're going to make this the playthrough to 1453. Of course, later on, skipping a lot of time, mostly because, of course, you know, there's not much happening once you are all powerful. And my god, the letters are so big. But would you look at that? 1146, we are gigantic. So I think this is where we're going to end it. I don't want to look at this part of the map at all anymore. What we're going to do here, so this is how I plan to play this out. I don't, of course, you know, I know being large, being incredibly overpowered isn't the most entertaining thing to watch. It isn't, let's be real here, it isn't the most entertaining thing to, you know, play either. What we're going to do is, I'm going to do this achievement, and then I'm going to fast forward. I'm going to show you only the most important things. But we're going to kind of rush through this because I do need to do the 1453 achievement, of course. But once this is done, my god, we are so close to 100% of the achievements. And this is just, we are blobbing out. We are going completely crazy. Just look at all the claims that I pushed in this episode alone. It is absolutely incredible to me. Very exciting to see just how fast we can truly grow here. I almost want to say that at this point we need to think about what we are going to do next. It could be the White Huns, it could be the Aladdin playthrough. Let me know what you think. I think both of those are interesting, but for the moment I will just push through this. You know, there will definitely be some interesting stuff going on because, you know, of course the Mongols will arrive, we will invade China, etc, etc, but I think the time of like slow play is essentially over because we are just winning. Now, that being said, I do want to thank the members of the channel, namely the Barons Aaron, Stefan, the Richest, T, Snywolf, Mello, Thomas, Lachlan, Mitchell, MFA, Florian, Dan, the Murcielago, Jacob, Rex Romano, I can't speak anymore, my apologies, Falling Phoenix, and Eterna. Then, of course, also the Counts, Shifty, Woman, and Kazen, as well as Lachlan, and last but not least, and I named Lachlan twice there, my bad. Last but not least, the Dukes. Suspicious Duck, Nathan, Jack, Kenneth, Lexo, Eric, and Aiden. What you gotta know is the entire membership list that I like keep up to date is all manual. Either way, thank you all so much for supporting the channel. Lachlan twice, and I will see all of you later. Alligator.